Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on This Is Just the Beginning. I hope you're well and I hope you've had a good weekend, a good start to the week. A little recap of my weekend was I went to go watch the rugby, the Six Nations match on Saturday, and it kind of just went downhill from there. I ended up drinking a lot of beer and I did not intend on getting that drunk. So Sunday consisted of lying in bed all day, but it was also my granddad's birthday, so I had to go over to see him. I felt very ill, but I put on a brave face and it was fine, and we had a really good day celebrating his birthday and just, having a bit of family time. As you can see by the episode title, today I kind of wanted to talk about transitioning from lazy girl era to the productive era. And before I go on about this, there is nothing wrong with being lazy. There's nothing wrong with having a whole era where you're a little bit less productive, especially over the winter, and you've got so much less motivation, and that's absolutely fine. We all go through those stages, even on a wellness journey. Even me, who seems to have a lot of shit together, I really don't. And the past few months, or the past year to be honest, I've not been prioritising self-care, I've not been prioritising my whole wellness journey, exercise, productive, good habits that, are just ultimately good for you. So I'm finally making the decision to step away from that because I want to, and that's the first thing I'm going to say to you. You know, all these trends with all these different eras. The first one was the that girl lifestyle, then the clean girl era. Now there's this whole talk of eras on social media. I love that talk so much because it is just saying that you do have different chapters, different seasons in your life throughout the year, throughout the week even, throughout your cycle, throughout the month. And it's important to recognise that everyone is different. And if you just jump on this kind of trend of this productive girl era, it's not going to work as well as you think it does. You've got to want to start. You've got to want to change your lifestyle. You've got to want to do it. And you need to have a why behind it. That is advice number 1 today, guys. You need to have a why behind you want to do anything. Whether it's goals, whether it is being more productive, succeeding in work, you need to have a why and also how you're going to get there, how you're going to do it. I've been wanting to focus on self-care and wellness journeys and my morning routine, night routine for so long, but I've just simply not had that kind of spark to get me to do that. I've kept saying a lot of the time on my podcast and my blog that I'm starting a new self-care routine, and I just haven't done it because I've not had the why and the how I'm going to do it. And last night I sat down, well, not last night, but I had a very hungover day, and I thought, right, I'm starting a full-time job. Today is Monday. I'm starting a full-time job. I need to be on it with my night routine, my morning routine, and I really need to understand that it's good for you, and that I used to love doing my yoga, my meditating, my morning walks. I used to love doing that, and I need to find that passion again for it. Sure, you have passion for work, hobbies, but you also need to find passion for your wellness journey and why you want to do it, not just jumping on the bandwagon like a lot of people are doing, and they're wondering why it doesn't work. And I think, like me, having a kind of point in your life where you possibly need to change. Recently, the last year, my night routine has consisted of watching Netflix until 2 a.m, even when I'm working the next day, and I cannot be doing that now that I'm working full time, and I really want to put more attention into my blog, my podcast, my actual job as well. I really want to put in all of my effort and attention into that, and I can't do that with a really bad night routine, so that's what I'm focusing on. But for the past month, I've been trying to change my night routine and trying to go to sleep earlier, and I've just not done it. So I've made the decision to focus on a morning routine first, and a lot of people do it the other way around with set yourself up for a good day the night before. People always say that you can't have a good day unless you have a good night routine and you go to bed early and you're not on your phone, etc. But with me, because I'm really struggling to sort a night routine out, and maybe you might be the same with you're watching Netflix so much, or you don't want to go to sleep, you're not tired yet. If you start getting up earlier, doing a productive morning routine, having a productive day, you're going to be tireder, and then you want to carry on the productivity and the wellness kind of aspect at the end of the day as well. So I'm kind of flipping on its head. Whatever works for you, it might not work for you. You might want to start with a relaxing night routine, and don't get me wrong, I have been implementing it. Well, I started last night, but I've been trying to implement my yoga, my shower before bed, a little bit of exercise before bed, and it did work last night, and I was asleep before 11 o'clock, which was amazing because I do not do that usually, and it's just, I feel so much more refreshed this morning. And that has all come down to me doing those little habits before bed. A little piece of information, I guess, is that it takes 26 days, I think that's the right time frame, to successfully turn like a habit into a fixed habit. So you do kind of mindlessly. And I've spoken a lot about habits in the past, and I'm going to do a whole new episode on how to build your habits, how to make them consistent and sustainable, all of that kind of thing. But it is true, and it's doing it for, I say, a month. It equates to a month. So do these things for a month, make yourself do them, with especially things like waking up early. I used to be, like, I'd never be awake in bed longer than 8 a.m. I would be up at 7 a.m, 6:30, 5 o'clock, whatever it was. As soon as my first alarm went off, I would be up. And again, as I've said for the last year, I've just not done that. And a year is a long time to not be focusing on yourself. Again, I've been recognising it, but I've just not been putting it into action. So I'm really doing that now. And I'm trying to remind myself that it's good to take care of yourself. It feels good. You feel like you're doing something in the day, even if you aren't working that day, if you don't have like a productive scheduled day planned. If you're looking after yourself, you're doing your wellness routine, you feel productive already. So again, but with getting up early, I really do struggle, and I do snooze my alarm a lot. And I want to be getting up at 6 a.m. every day. That is my goal. But then in my head, I'm like, yeah, but I don't actually need to get up yet. For example, working from home, I don't need to get up till 8:30, and then I can just go onto my laptop, But today, I was meant to wake up at 6 o'clock, but I snoozed till 7, which is fine. I've still got 2 hours before I start working. I mean, I don't start at exactly 9. I usually start a bit before, but I thought I'd do this little podcast here just while I have time to, again, feel a bit more productive and just add in another 20 minutes to my routine with doing a podcast, doing a blog post, doing something productive in the morning, even if I am going straight into work. And I really don't mind that. But this morning I got up at 7 and I looked at my little to-do list, my little checklist on my whiteboard this morning, and number 1 was do a 20-minute walk. And I know I'm always very hesitant to speak about exercise and forcing it as a habit, etc. But for me, I used to love, in the summer, going for a morning walk with a coffee, doing some yoga, doing some meditation, drinking my lemon water, or now I'm switching that to my greens, journaling with a coffee, doing a to-do list, just setting yourself up for the day. I used to love that. And in the summer, when it starts to get lighter outside, I will be doing the walk outside, but for the moment I'm doing it on the treadmill indoors. Literally, as soon as I got onto the treadmill though, the sun came up, so I could have gone outside, but I just did it in my pyjamas. I caught up on the news, I put on a podcast, and I've not listened to a podcast in so long. Sure, I record them, but I've not actually listened to someone else's in so long, and I've missed that. And immediately listening to a podcast, I mean, you're probably going to feel it right now, but you do feel more productive. You feel ready to change. You feel ready to get on with your life and succeed and have a great life. And that's what I'm trying to do as well. So why am I suddenly changing my mindset around lazy girl era, productive girl era? As I've said, it's been way too long since I actually took care of my body. For the last month or so, it's been very kind of like pseudo wellness journey, I guess is the right way to do it. And so that's why I'm really deciding to do it now and really focus on myself now, while I'm transitioning to a full-time job where I'm going to need to have a stable routine. And even if I'm working from home more than I'm going into the office, I still want to be getting up at the same time. On the other hand, I'm thinking the end of this week, well, I'm working Monday to Wednesday, then I've already booked off Thursday and Friday, as I've said, to go back to uni for a few days and go out. And again, I'm so over the midweek night outs, but this is the last time I'm going to do it. This was booked ages ago, so I'm going to go do it, and I'm going to have fun. I'm not going to feel guilty for doing it, but in the back of my mind I am, because I'm thinking, no, because I want to focus on myself again. But yeah, I've got this booked and it's in the middle of the week, it's going to ruin my routine already. But no, you all have to start somewhere. Those people that kind of wait until the 1st of January or the 1st of any other month or a Monday to start a diet, a new routine, you've got to start it straight away. As soon as you feel that spark, you've got to hold on to it, otherwise it can go very quickly. You need to just do it. Whenever you want to feel productive, you've got to do it. Like, for example, so many times when I'm hungover, it gets to like 3 o'clock and then I suddenly feel okay, and I suddenly feel like let's start my day. Then I do some things that I've been putting off for ages. I have a shower, I go for a walk. And I'm not saying that is every single time when I'm hungover. Most of the time I do just lay in bed all day, and that's fine too. But you need to, as soon as you feel that spark of productivity or whatever it is, you need to hold on to it and just do it straight away. Otherwise it will go, and that is really annoying when it does do that. But with this new routine, I'm really trying to do it 80-20, and if you don't know what the 80-20 rule is, basically 80% of your week, so usually that's Monday to Friday, your weekdays, you are productive, you're living that girl lifestyle, the wellness lifestyle, you're waking up early, you're really putting in the effort, you're eating clean, you're living that aesthetic lifestyle basically, then the other 20%, so the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, you are kind of letting your hair down. You might have a lie-in, you might have cheat days, although I do not agree with cheat days and you know that, but you kind of just, you're just more relaxed and you might not do any work, you might just have chill days watching Netflix, and that's absolutely fine. Because if you have been on a wellness journey, if you've been the productive girl for a while, you know that you can get burnt out quite quickly, especially if you jump in it straight away. I'm doing it because I've done it so many times before, I know what to expect, but if you just suddenly jump into the whole 6 o'clock wake-ups, walking, exercising, journaling every day, working really productively every day, getting loads of stuff done, you can become burnt out in as little time as a week. So it's about, again, recognising the signs of, sure, being productive is a healthy habit, but if you're doing it too much, if you're now overwhelmed by it, take a step back and have a couple rest days, which is why the 80-20 rule works so well with that you do always have that weekend to relax, have your social time then. And that's what I'm really trying to do. Other than this week, it is also in the middle of the week, but that's absolutely fine. I'm still going to try and implement as much as my like morning routine and night routine habits as I can, just to make sure that I am keeping on top of it in some way or another. Then every weekend in February, I'm also away and I'm doing stuff, and I've got 2 21st birthday celebrations, and then I'm going to London as well for to watch the new ABBA thing. Finally, I'm going to go see that, and it's just a very hectic month, but again, all of those things are on a weekend, so I can still have my productive time and I can still do the things that I want to do. The old me would find excuses with this and say, okay, I'll put it off till March. I won't do my routine till March. I've got a really busy month. No, you've got to start. You've got to do it. As I've said, as soon as you find that motivation to do it, you've got to do it, no matter what it is, and that applies to everything in life. And I'm doing it ultimately to hold myself accountable for the life I want to live, have that self-discipline, and I've been so soft on myself recently that I really just want to start, and I just want to get back to feeling healthy again and living my best life, and I've really missed that. Already after my routine this morning, I feel like it's summer, because I used to do this routine in 2022, I think it was, when I first started doing it. I mean, it was before that, it was in lockdown as well, but recently it was in 2022, so almost 2 years ago now, when I really put this routine into action again. That's because I was watching YouTube videos, podcasts all about it, and I just wanted to do it. And again, I did just follow the trend, but I did love doing it so much. And I'm thinking, why am I doing it? And I think the best thing is that I want to succeed in work. I want to succeed in my personal life, on my blog, on my podcast, and I'm only going to achieve that if I have a good morning and a good night routine and, yeah, a structured day. I'm only going to achieve the things I want to do if I have this accountability and self-discipline and really work towards those goals through my mental health in a way. So when I know that I'm more stable, I'm more organised, I know that it'll be so much easier to be productive and achieve all these goals. My morning routine is just trying to get me back into that feeling of being productive and having it so that I don't just do it in the summer, you know. And I spoke in my last episode or the one before about having different versions of a self-care day. In the winter and the summer, you will have different versions. In the summer, as I've said, you are more wanting to go outside, you want to put more effort into yourself. Whereas in the winter, you know, your kind of self-care days might just be in bed all day. And that's what I was saying that mine was. But now I think I'm finally entering this productive girl era where that doesn't matter anymore. But then some days I might still want that, and that's absolutely fine. Kind of just reiterating that it's not bad to be lazy. Everyone needs to be lazy for a day, a month, like an extended period of time, because your body is telling you to do that. But then it does get to a point where you are just being lazy. You are just not motivated, you're not putting the work in, and that's what you got to realise. You've got to let yourself have that time off, but then you also have to get back to it at some point. You can't just be in that era your whole life. So I'm really excited to be now entering this era now. But I'm going to leave that episode there today. I know it's a short episode, but I am just trying to fit in this episode in between work and my morning routine, etc. I hope you've kind of got some motivation from this. But as I've said, I don't want you to just jump onto the trend. I want you to want to change your lifestyle. I want you to want it and have a reason for doing that, not just because everyone else is doing it. I assure you they're not. But also take a moment to figure out what era you are in right now. I'm also in kind of my do it for the plot era, very much so. Now that I'm single again, it's very much the case. But I'm also trying to work on myself and not go out as much and not drink as much and just really work on self-care and being productive, because I love doing those things and I've missed doing those things. Literally after one morning of doing it, I feel so much better in myself. I'm just hoping it lasts, but it will, because I really want it to. I hope you have a very good week, and I hope you're watching the rugby. I said this in my last episode. I really hope you are, because it's great. It's much better than football. And I hope you are going to think through the 80-20 rule as well, and it could apply to anything. If, I know I don't talk about diets ever, but if you are in a diet, you know, you could do the 80-20 rule. Or if, you know, with clubbing, you like, maybe you're in first year uni, but you know, you need to calm down, change it to the 80-20 rule. Go out on the weekend, have a hangover on a weekend, not when you meant to have a lecture at 9 a.m. the next morning. With whatever it is, with work, whatever, sports, again, maybe just work out Monday to Friday, have the weekend off. With whatever you're doing, try it and just implement it in for a couple of weeks and see how it goes. DM me, leave a comment in the comment section of this on iTunes, and yeah, I'll get back to you about that. And just let me know if you've got any more tips on how to be more productive and the reason behind being more productive as well. So I hope you have a good week, and I'll speak to you very soon.